I'm so emotional right now. I'm really tearing up because when he actually said, "I'll bless the work of your hand," I will bless the work of your hand. This was what he actually meant. Because tell me why this whole look ate and left no crumbs left. Why? Honestly, I'm just excited. And the interesting part of this whole outfit was it was done in one night stroke the next morning. Oh, I was just so happy it was coming out well. Okay, guys, let's just start a little bit. Let's just start with this. I went to school. That's my fashion house. I started tracing out. After I was done tracing out, I started marking out the whole lines for the dress, for the shirts rather. I slashed and spread, add my allowance, transfer my dart. I was connecting my lines together, and this was just how the whole process was going. I also went back and traced again. I was tracing for my master pattern. This is why I told you guys it's necessary to have a master pattern where you can easily trace out and start doing your whole style on it because it saves a lot of time. So that was basically what I did. At this point, I was slashing my two darts at my sides. I slashed it, I spread it out, I put some paper, pattern drafting paper or pattern paper underneath it and add it up. So after I was done, this is very late in the night. I was still in school. I was drafting my sleeve, and at this point I knew that after I was done drafting my sleeve, I would go home. And after I was done drafting my sleeve, I said sleeve rather. I went home. I didn't rest. I didn't stop at that point. I went to my sewing room and I continued from where I stopped. And that was how it was going. Though I was tired. This is what they said: the body is weak and the spirit is wailing, because I was literally tired because I needed some rest, but I didn't give myself any break. So at this point, I was cutting and my bell sleeve. I traced out, I cut it, I slashed it, and after I was done slashing my bell sleeve, I went to draw the other sleeve, because basically this whole style had two sleeves, the bell sleeve and the normal shirt sleeve with a big twist in it. And I went for a black and white color. And at this point, I was done drafting, slashing my spreading my sleeve. I started cutting the the outer style, which is the black what's it called, fabric you saw on top. So that was what I was basically doing at this point. After I was done tracing out, I cut the paper out. I traced out another side of it. I cut the paper out, and this side was me cutting the back for it. That's for the black style. If you check the back, it has like a sweetheart neck. So I cut it, I traced out, I cut it again, I continued cutting. So after I was done cutting my whole pattern paper, I took the ones I cut out and I placed it on my fabric and started cutting. And guys, guess what? This whole thing saves a lot of material. Like, it saved a lot of material. Okay, let's go with the material. How many yards I bought? I actually bought 2 yards each of this fabric, and guess what? It was still remaining because I actually used my pattern paper to draft, did the whole waist out on my pattern paper before transferring to my top, and this whole process literally saved me a lot of material. Which made me had enough left out. So at this point, I was still cutting, and I used the what's it called, razor blade to cut out that sweetheart neck. That's what I was doing out. So I was done with that part. I went started cutting out my sleeves. So this whole process was just about cutting my materials, and after I was done, I started sewing my placket. I pinned, I sew, I removed, I flipped it over, and I sewed. At this point, this was around, if I wasn't mistaken, this is 250 something, right? Yeah, this is around 250 something. I was still sewing, and basically I was actually listening to music while sewing because it actually kept me more alive. You can see my AirPod, I was listening to music and I was still sewing. And the whole process of this was just so neat. I took my time to sew. I cut out every thread. I made sure it was it was perfect. I did everything I could. Though I made little mistakes which required me losing and redoing it, but it was worth the whole process. And this was my first fitting. This was my first fitting, and this is how it was looking. Okay, I was feeling myself. I was so happy, and I was like, yes, let me go and continue the rest. So after I was done with that part, I started sewing the outer look for the black, starting with sewing my sweetheart neck. I actually used hemming gum so I can press it well to avoid some rumpled parts. So I was sewing, I was sewing, I was sewing, I was sewing, I was tired. At some point, I dozed off for, let's just say, I dozed off for a few seconds. Like, no, you can't do this, you have to continue. And this is basically an assignment given to us at my fashion academy. So this was just me trying my best to meet up with the whole assignment. Okay, they took light. I waited the beads. They brought it back. It didn't even take long before they brought the light back, and I continued with my sewing. And at some point, I paused. I just decided to at some point, I felt tired, and I can't do this anymore. I need to go and sleep. But I was like, okay, fine. Let me just pick up my phone, go through some online videos that will crack me up, that will make me laugh, entertain me. I did just that. And after I was done laughing, I was like, hey, you're getting lost. Go back to what you're saying. And that was how I went back. I just paused my videos and continued sewing. And, you know, and one thing I make sure I did was like I cut out every thread. After sewing, I make sure I cut out every thread and I weaved. At every sewing, I weaved, I cut out thread to make sure my work is neat and perfect. And this is my second fitting. So this is the black outfit, the black outer part. If you don't understand, when I put some black, put in the black outfit, and that was it. And next was to sew my collar. But I was thinking of using a black collar for it. But I actually, and at first I thought of using a black, all black for the collar, but I felt like the black would be too much. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll mix it up. The side I had the black side, I'll do the white. The side I had the white, I'll do the black. But at some point, I was like, no, let me just do the white. And this was 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. in the morning, and I was still working. I had no rest. So after I was done cutting my collar on my hard collar stay, I transferred it to my material, added my allowance. I used my pressing iron to hold it down because those had they had some gooey parts. And after I was done, I was good. I went to my sewing table and so, and guys, this is the final look. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is the final. This was a sweetheart back. But this is my final look for my dress. I am so much in love with this. So what do you guys think about this whole shirt assignment look? Oh, this is it. And this is so fantastic. So, guys, rate my work and tell me what you think about it. Oh my god, the dress needs no audio because it is the audio. Oh, this is so fun and fantastic. I just. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in my next video.